What's up, everyone? It's Curtis E, back with another 2-Minute 2 Cents, where I spend exactly 2 minutes giving my 2 cents on a topic. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but with the NBA playoffs in full swing, I've decided to bring it on back and give my 2-Minute 2 Cents on the Utah Jazz. Starting now. Why in the vanilla vagina is this team still called the Jazz? Why didn't they change the name when the team came over from New Orleans? It makes absolutely no sense for anything in Utah to be associated with Jazz. For one thing, how the dribbling dick did Utah's only major sports team end up being a basketball team? If anything, I'd imagine they'd end up with a hockey team, not just because of all the white people, but because of all the ice. Or maybe hockey's too violent for Utah. Soccer? Hell, I would expect them to create an entire curling league before getting a basketball team. Surely the state of Utah was not clamoring for an NBA team. And for another thing, the bigger thing, why did they see fitting to keep the name Jazz when moving from New Orleans, where jazz was invented, to Utah? How did one of black culture's greatest creations end up in our whitest state that's most famous for a religion that forbade dancing? This is the most expensive case of cultural appropriation I can think of. Is this some sort of revenge for a white man inventing basketball, but then the sport becoming important to black culture? Because that's not what Dr. King would have wanted, I'm pretty sure. Every time I hear Utah Jazz, I just picture Kenny G. You should have just gone all in and made him your mascot. And why the ever f***ing love did they not give the name back to New Orleans when the NBA came back there? They had to end up settling with the Pelicans, because that's Louisiana's state bird. Don't get me wrong, pelicans themselves are much more terrifying than you think. Those beaky bastards have no qualms whatsoever about swallowing you whole. Whenever I see a picture of a pelican with his beak open, I just think death, darkness, bottomless void, nothingness, abandon all hope, ye who enter here. They're an avian nightmare, but the name Pelican? That's silly. That's not intimidating. Give them back the Jazz. You could have just used something that makes any semblance of sense in Utah, which is certainly not Jazz. And here, I saved you some time and made a list for you. The Utah mountains, the Utah peaks, the Utah valleys, the Utah snowcaps, the Utah cold, the Utah skis, the Utah slopes, the Utah gondolas, the Utah ski instructors, the Utah ice, the Utah lakes, the Utah Lakers. Wait a minute. The Utah salinity, the Utah sodium basins, the Utah black ties, the Utah doorbells, the Utah Mormons, the Utah elders, the Utah wives, the Utah religious traumas, the Utah American Jesuses, the Utah freckles, the Utah sunburns, the Utah mayonnaise, the Utah doughboys, the Utah melanomas, the Utah stillfoots, the Utah offbeats, the Utah spiceless. And I would make one for your state bird, but you couldn't even think of an original state bird because you made yours the California Gull. But you see, there's so many options. You're welcome. Get your white, danceless, frostbitten tips off of Jazz and give it back to New Orleans. And time. So there it is, my 2-minute 2 cents on the Utah Jazz. Thank you all for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Click the links in the description for all things Courtesy Comedy. And feel free to let me know if there's a topic you'd like me to give my 2-minute 2 cents on. Have a wonderful day, and may your Jazz be 100% devoid of Utah.